even put a policeman to go with our crowd, and this photographer's crowd, with the camera without the film, just to keep an eye on us. So all these things, they made us stand in one corner to take all the pictures we wanted. Formerly we had the freedom to move around, take our own angles. So what was the use of taking pictures when 25 to 30 people take the same pictures from the same angle of the same thing? So there was no meaning. And I didn't want to do any commercial work that time. So
I have one more question for you. You photographed all these different dignitaries. You photographed the Queen, you photographed Jackie Kennedy, you photographed Eisenhower, all these people. Who was your favorite dignitary?
Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh of Vietnam.
Why?
Because of his simplicity and his simplicity, the way he conducted himself there, the way he dressed in a very simple, light blue colored dress, what is it called? Battle jacket or something. And the chappals also. And he used to be moving about, wanting to talk to people and all that. I will give you one example of how he felt about things. There always was a reception for the dignitaries when they came to India. And the reception used to be at the airport. We had a special airport when the public was brought in, everything was there. It was a rule made by the government that the two dignitaries, the dignitary himself and our Prime Minister, would be sitting on very high chairs so that they were distinguished from the other. He saw, he was asked to go and sit down. We looked at his chair, he said, why this common chair here, and two big ones. The Prime Minister said, this is for two of us. He said, I won't sit on that. Why should I sit on a bigger chair and other people are sitting on it? I mean, he was to sit down. He asked them to change the seat. All the seats were made equal. And then, he went and sat down. Then he was presented with the carpet. He took the carpet, put it on his shoulder, and started walking up and down the stage to show the public how happy he was to receive it. That shows the type of person he was. No, I am a higher dignitary. Now it was something different from Tito of Yugoslavia. He wouldn't bend down even to tie his shoelace. He had a fellow following up. Every time the shoe had to be removed, it was that fellow removing it. He would be standing like that. So, that was how. Others were all right, they in their own way. But this particular man impressed me very much. And I didn't know why. They didn't like people working. So just before he left, before getting on to the plane, he gave to me my friend, shaking hands.
There's a lot of women shook hands with the way of meeting on the plane.
Yeah, that was our parallel. Leaving out that when I was there, she was very around social. But I never talked to them. He always consoled me somehow or the other. But before he went, he had come several times after his weddings, after leaving his office as the governor general. And the last time he came, I think he knew he was coming for the last time. So just before going up on the plane, he saw me standing in one corner. Having taken out the picture that was just standing, he came all the way to me, shook hands with me, and he said, thank you. I was so happy because he had thanked me. Not only that, there were 4 or 5 high commissioners for whom I worked. And the last one who came was an editor of a newspaper. He thought himself very high and mighty. He said to circular to the office saying, ask your photographer to stand 15 feet away and not approach Mountbatten. I was told that. I said, okay, I used to do it, take it the way I am. I'm not going to change it. I was standing in one corner, far away. Immediately I saw something happening, I would step forward, take the prison box. Mountbatten somehow I was able to understand as to why I was there, because I never done that before. He understood. So when the ambassador came to talk to him, he looked at me, he looked at the ambassador and said, you know, this girl has been taking my picture at actual thanks for. And the ambassador didn't know what to say.
Good for you. I said good for you.
Good for me, honestly. It was the same Prime Minister's birthday time also. Once there was a group picture taken of all the cabinet ministers when Rajaji became the governor general. One of the person, Mr. Keshwar, he was the information and broadcasting minister. He was the last one on the chair and he was sitting with his leg up like that, the leg moving out of the crowd, I mean the photograph. Now there was only studio photographer there who was afraid to do the thing. And he said, now how can I take a picture of him with his leg sticking out? I said, don't bother, I'll go and tell him. So I went, I said, excuse me sir, would you please put your leg in because he spoils the picture. He got white with me. He said, what do you say you are? And what do you say I am? Like that. I said, I'm just trying to save the picture from being spoiled. And I went to him. Panditji heard all these things. The group was taken, he put his leg down, everything was all right. Panditji after that came right in front of him. He took me by the arm like this. He said, come on. And he started walking up the corridor. And he said, why do you waste your balloon and your hand on with mugshots? Why don't you take pictures of this beautiful dog? So that was the slum. Oh, that
Okay, now can I take the story further? I'm going to take the story further. So recently when she got the Padma Bhushan, this is about last month, I went with her to Rashtrapati Bhavan and we were walking through the security and all of that, and she was on her wheelchair and we were walking down this long corridor in Rashtrapati Bhavan, and she said to me, do you remember the story I told you of Panditji and me with our arms around each other and he told me to look at the door? She said, look above you, that's the door and this is the corridor that we were walking down. You showed me the same corridor when we went to Rashtrapati Bhavan this time.
I could remember everything.
This is her memory. That's how she went. How old was she then? She must have been maybe 40 or something like that then. She's 97, she's only 98 in December this year. 9th of December. That's nice about the fact that she used to go there with all the security guards and now she was going back to Rashtrapati Bhavan to get the Padma Bhushan. Of course, I think it was given to her very late. They should have given it to her a long time ago, but they did finally.
There are some.
So everything pre-1970 would have been done by now. Anything after that, there are some prints that must have been in the 90s as well. So we've used some silver gelatin, but we've done others on digital.
What does she think print quality between silver gelatin and the digital? What's her thoughts on that?
Yeah. Between your printing, you used to do your own printing. You used to do your own printing.
Yeah,
And how do you see that different from the kind of digital?
And I have not taken any interest in this.
You know, we had to make a decision about when we were printing, whether to go archive or matte. We chose not to do that because we tried to keep the integrity of our original glossies. So we've done it on glossy paper. So we've tried to keep that integrity as far as possible. Of course, there are some tones that are there in our digital prints that possibly are difficult to get now. Sometimes it becomes a bit tough when you're scanning her images, some of them have turned yellow. Now one is not sure whether that yellow is happening later or then. So it's kind of complicated when you're trying to get those tones, when you're printing up. So for these prints, we just followed the black and white prints.
But did you shoot, print on any red process or just the digital process?
Just
Red process. Use for paper?
what developer do you use for paper? Do you remember?
Most of the material I used for the whole time was Codex. And sometimes only, the other one.
Infer. Any other question? The last question that you want to ask her? Did you ever come to Bangalore? I think Mysore, no?
No,
You came
only passed through it. But never before. This is the first time I'm just here.
No, madam, photo has come from long back. I exhibited madam photo in the...
exhibition came, but she didn't come.
No, I have exhibited from last 17 years back.
Okay,
I
in
take the
Bangalore?
photograph from madam and I exhibited over 50 years journalism of photojournalism.
Here, in
Yes,
Bangalore?
in Bangalore, Kochi and Madras.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you for that.
And I was working in Asian Photography magazine.
Nice, thank you. The other thing I wanted to add is just a little story, and that is that 2 years ago, Humay and I were invited to go to the US and to the UK, and she traveled abroad for the first time in her life at the age of 95. And that was quite an incredible trip, and in the evening in my talk, I'm going to be showing a few clips from her, just her experience of being in the US. And she hated the US. She thought it was terribly isolated. She said there are no people on the streets. She was happiest in London because she could see people around her. And was very angry when she reached Heathrow because she thought that they were just not like the British of those days.
Has she had any moment of wanting to hold a camera again recently?
Have you ever wanted to hold a camera recently, like a digital camera? Or just hold a camera or take a picture?
No. That is why I have it. Maybe I think it is me. Once I start doing a thing, I start to put it. I just feel like going back to something that I have done before. I like to go forward, learn something different, do something different. Not only photography, after the repetition of photography in 1970, I have not taken a single picture, and not even of my son's wedding.
But instead
I have covered so many weddings of other people. That because I don't want to go back again to Canberra. And I don't regret it because I remember it, I enjoyed it thoroughly. When the going was good, I remember it and will go back again to something.
And then when you finish photography, you enjoy doing something that you had never done before, that is you enjoy being a housewife.
No, on the contrary, I have always been an housewife. Because without that, I wouldn't have been able to do my profession. Those were very conservative days. Women were supposed to look after the family welfare. And if I had neglected the family, I would have been forced to give up photography. It was not that happened. I liked to work for my family. I used to get up at 4:30 in the morning to go and get milk for the family. Family of 3 of us only. My husband, my son and me. And I lived in Connaught Place, where no hawkers, nobody else allowed. So I had to go and work because there was this government booth selling milk. And so we had to go and stand in the queue. This is how I started my day. As a housewife, prepare breakfast, prepare the food. By 9 o'clock I had finished with so many things. I had taken my son to Delhi when he was only 3 months old. And I had to look after his welfare also. In the office, I used to work with my husband, but my house and the office were again back to back. So my son being very small, he needed to be fed. My mother-in-law would stand on one window and just, give a signal to me in my dark room that the child was crying, he needed feeding. So I used to go once, the other side. The office people were so nice, they allowed me the freedom of movement from 8 and out of the office.
So in all this, what are the tasks that your husband did at home?
What is that?
What are the things that your husband did at home for you?
Well, look after the son also, when you have a mother, and look after him very well. We never left our son alone with a servant. Whatever happened, we would rather stop working than do that. Our responsibility was to see that he was well kept. And he grew up to be independent also. We taught him to be able to look after himself. I taught him all the cooking. He knew how to show clothes even, because I was doing all my clothes. I would say, would you like to learn it? Because suppose you may grow up, you go to a place where the convenience is not there, facility is not there. How many managers will learn it? He even knew how to do this thing. So that way, brought him up in a way that whatever I knew, he knew. He could bake, he could cook, he could do everything. Whole house like a housewife. Not that I asked him to do it. He really enjoyed it. And that was for the future. That came, and it became very useful to his wife, who couldn't do much work.
And when she gave up photography in 1970, she goes to Pilani, where she stays with her son, who's by now he's a professor there. And then she becomes, as I said, a housewife. And she does all the things that she always wanted to have more time for. She's right in saying that she was also a housewife, but she could now bake, she could now cook, she could now, take part in theatre. So she organized all the women of Pilani in the club there, and they would put up plays, and they would do Ikebana competitions and all of that. And she enjoyed that tremendously. Till one day in Pilani, and nobody knew she was a photographer. Till one day there was a news item in the Times of India where Mrs. Gandhi was asked by an American journalist if they ever had a woman photographer, and she said, of course we did, and she now lives in Pilani. And so that day a man read the magazine, read the newspaper, and came knocking on her door. And he said, are you the woman that they're talking about in this picture? And she said, yes, and that's how Sleepy Pilani got to know that my grandmother was a photographer. So what happened when everybody got to know in Pilani that you were a photographer?
Surprise. Nobody had known. But it happened that Mrs. Gandhi was going to be interviewed by an American a correspondent. And pompously he said, well, I don't see any women taking photographs. You don't have any women photographers. Just wanted to show Mrs. Beers or she is on the contrary, she has just retired, and she was a very, very active photographer. Now, a correspondent who was there at that time, I think Shakespeare or somebody, he gave a good account of their conversation and put my name there. That Mrs. Gandhi said, one was a photographer who was just retired and got from here. She was very active. Now one of the professors read that name, Yaravanga. He came to the paper. He said, what is your own name? What is your Christian name? I said, oh my. Oh, so you were the photographer. He went around and they called us it was after several years of staying in Pilani that this thing happened.
I'm a graduate of BITS Pilani, so I can't help asking this question. Any special memories of
She loves it.
And
Any memories of Pilani she wants to know because she's from Pilani?
You are from
yeah,
Pilani.
that is interesting.
She's to
But I was there again.
Oh, okay.
Rest of time at the right place.
Oh, how
Because there was a group of women. I don't know everything. I was always afraid of being a woman's company. Why? Because I had always been with men. In the school, I was the only one in my life in class with all the boys. In villages in the world also, again the same thing. I was in girls and a whole lot of boys. In the college also the same thing. I had no sister. The only woman I knew, my mother. And no girlfriends. So all these things combined, somehow or the other, I felt a little afraid of women. Another thing, I didn't know what to talk to them about. Because we don't get talk about maid servants, jewelry, sarees, makeup and all the stuff, which I had nothing to do with. All right, a maid doing everything but the maids of the time. But when I went to Pilani, I found the whole thing changed. The women, they were all educated and always eager to learn. Not only learn, but to perform also. So somehow or the other, gradually I became a member of the club, ladies club. And there we were very active, extremely active. We had 2 functions, annual functions and the evening. When we would have put up plays, we would have dances, we would have music and everything for the college. And I was also a president at times, 1 or 2 years. And then we decided that we must come together more often. Now there were all the communities there at that time. But actually I was the only one with my son. My son was not married in the beginning there. So we decided that every month each community will hold a lunch prepared by that community.